Isn't academic life precisely a space where you should be allowed to say very problematic things? It's not a safe space. It's a space where you can openly debate what makes our outer normal life, non-academic reality, unsafe. And here, another problem that I have is, many people have noticed this lack of refinement, irony, and so on. Let me give you an example. Are you from time to time looking Curb Your Enthusiasm by Larry David?
I wish I were. I watched the first season many years ago and absolutely loved it.
I know. I'm also don't have time to go through. But do you remember, was it already in the first season, one wonderful episode where at a party in his home, an old Auschwitz survivor and the survivor of this survival reality TV show debate who suffered more. And of course, because it's a comedy, the reality TV survivor wins. He suffered more. And people exploded. This is making fun of Auschwitz and so on. I think, no, it's exactly the opposite. This works as a joke. Why? Precisely because we all know that Auschwitz was the true horror. That to compare the two is absurd. The true obscenity would have been, I think, to have the Auschwitz survivor
then it's
win,
no longer a joke.
which is obviously true, but it would have meant that you can even compare them. You already concede too much. You see, and I fear a threat for all these ambiguities and so on. My experience from everyday life is that we can have very brutal, even they may appear to be racist jokes, which are a form of solidarity even. In Europe, at least, when I meet a friend, not just from ex-Yugoslavia, from Germany, blah, blah, whatever, the only reliable sign of real closeness or friendship is that you share an obscenity. You insult him, apparently he insults you. If you take this away, you end up in a terrifying universe. On the other hand, there are even civilizations who know how to do it. I think it's mostly United Kingdom and Japan, where, speaking in a very respectful, polite way, they nonetheless do it so that you can feel extremely patronizing aggressivity and so on and so on. But let me go and then I will allow you to ask questions. My favorite example. Today, and here I am addressing also your potential public. That's what I wanted to say in the introduction. Do you know that now we have in public debate about sex, gender, and so on, two opposed positions, but they share some basic stances, I claim. On the one hand, so-called, I don't think how to call them, sex biologists, who claim, okay, let's not play cultural games, gender socially constructed. The basic thing is still sex as biologically determined. On the other hand, we have, I even don't know how to call them, trans ideology, those who think sex is simply a social construct, a matter of a personal choice. I claim that this opposition is false. false in the sense that, of course, sex, your sexual identity on purpose, I don't want to distinguish between sex and gender, that your sexual identity, your sexual practices have some base, not base in the sense of firm foundation, but they relate to something which obviously involves a biological dimension, but of course they re-elaborate, change it completely. So I totally agree that in this sense, our sexual identities are socially constructed. But my reproach is that often with those woke feminists, trans, and so on, they are way too subjectivist in the sense that they identify social construction with how you feel, does it hurt you or not. They, in other words, although they usually, as a rule, reject psychoanalysis as pre-feminist, relying of paternal authority, 19th century, and so on, the type of subject to which trans ideologists often, not all of them, I have many friends there, refer, is a simple pre-Freudian subject who, deep in himself, herself, itself, whatever you put, and I agree with this, who deep in themselves know what they want, they know what hurts them, they know what they really are, and which was just, and this is not a biological fact, it's their symbolic construct, social identity, and we just have to allow them to become what they are. Again, not biologically, but at the level of their identity. Now, I think, and here psychoanalysis enters, something is missing here. We don't have just biology and then these subjective choices and so on. I agree that our sexual identities are socially constructed, but they are constructed, here the lesson of psychoanalysis enters, in a very self-contradictory, antagonist way. Mostly you are not even aware of how it works. The basic lesson of Freud is simply our subjectivity is split subjectivity. Often we think that we want one thing, we really desire another thing. Often this is the basic lesson of psychoanalysis. Often our desire is perverted. We enjoy something that we find at the same time disgusting, or the most perverted example, often evoked by Judith Butler herself.